we are going to stick to the program here as we welcome in former pro soccer goalie and current Seattle Sounders chaplain, Jesse Bradley, joining us from Seattle. Jesse, I can see you because you're on Zoom. I know you can't see me, but I feel like we've done this before many times where I can see you and you have no idea.
Amy, it's always so glad to join you, and congratulations on your new show. Usually we've done this, it's a little later at night, so today during the day, but I know so many listeners have found your new show and have joined along and appreciate you. You've been doing this so well for so long.
Thank you. I appreciate that always. All right, so Carlos Alcaraz, he is down 2 sets to Jannik Sinner. Then he's facing 3 championship points. He manages to erase all 3 of those and then battle back 2 more tie breaks, including the one in the deciding 5th set. As a former pro athlete yourself, what type of mental focus and toughness, what do you tell yourself in those moments where you are literally down to your very last chance?
You've got to admire Carlos and the comeback. When you hear John McEnroe say it was seemingly impossible, it's one of the most epic comebacks he's ever seen. You know it's significant. Carlos is only 22 years old. And sports is about physical ability, which he clearly has, but also it's the mental game. And, you know, to reach down that deep, you have to have a focus. And every point, enter in fully. I was a professional goalkeeper, so it was every shot. You know, for him, it's this play. You can't determine and turn that whole thing around down 2 sets, and he's never done that before. So It's new territory. It's not like he's done this 5 times. You can't do that in 1 play or 3 plays. So it goes deep to where, what have you practiced? What's the plan? But then gotta focus, and that's that mental clarity. I was a psychology major at Dartmouth, so sports psychology is always fascinating. If you apply that to our lives, Amy, really, we can't control tomorrow, and we can't live in the past. So what do? We enter into this moment. And the things that we've practiced, you've got to build up that confidence through repetition, and then never give up. He didn't give up. And Amy, that's half the battle. I'm talking to my kids. I have 4 kids. They play sports. Sometimes they're down 20 points and I see now they have a lack of effort. And we talk afterwards in the car. It's okay, what did we learn from that? And just the Pacers coming back from these massive deficits. But for Carlos, he's going to cherish that one more. And sometimes, it's a setback before the comeback. That's what you really enjoy because it tested you to the core. And he made the right choice. And he stayed the course, didn't give up. And now he gets to celebrate again. He's got clay all over his back.
Right. So you bring up the Pacers. We're seeing a pattern here. They're actually comfortable in those situations. But how much confidence do you get when you know that if you don't give up and you stay the course and you stay in the moment, that it actually works? Like, how does that impact a team when you've seen it play out in front of your eyes?
You've got to tune out the noise. There's always going to be the haters, the distractors. The Pacers were 50-1 odds just to make it to the finals, but they didn't let that sink in. And, whoever you're listening to, make sure you got people around you that build you up and that are going to speak life into you. And when people throw shade, don't give them too much power. So what did they do? The best teams, the championship teams, they're connected, they have connection, and they have commitment. And you see that with the Pacers. Now, sometimes in our culture, we like to talk about David and Goliath, and we kind of throw that out there, but we miss what happened in that story. Now, David, he took care of sheep. He was a shepherd, and he actually had to ward off the lions and the bears. So before Goliath, he had already had a lot of victories, and he knew the plan. He had the practice. And when Goliath came, of course, there's some prayer involved there too.
Yeah.
But everyone else was running away in fear, and he was running towards it. And I think the teams that overcome, they know that it's we more than me, and they don't shrink back. There's no fear. But together, they're going to tackle it. They're going to run into it. And that's what's most inspiring. The teams that bring the comebacks. I mean, even like who are heroes in our culture? Think back to September 11th. It's like so many are running away, which is understandable. But those first responders, they're actually running towards it. They're courageous. They're fearless. They're unselfish. And when a whole team shares that, now there's no limits. I mean, championships are going to come. The culture is built in the locker room. And when you have a championship culture, then it's just a matter of time before you start winning titles. And we're seeing the Pacers do that right now. And Halliburton, he tells his story, but recently he's really grown in his faith and he shares that now. And when you know you're loved and secure, then you're able to put it in perspective, and it's just sports. So let's go out there. Let's not hold anything back. because our performance doesn't define us. It's not our identity. And you see that with Halliburton. He's like, okay, God loves me. I'm secure. And he's taking those last shots, and it's just fun to watch.
So, Jesse, you mentioned the psychology background you have. It's so big now in pro sports where more and more teams and franchises are employing coaches or psychologists who can speak to the mental side of the game. It's not just about physical and being strong. How does that play in, and how can that help athletes when, as you point out, their mentals are also taken care of?
That's right. And it's caring about the whole person. You know, sports are more than just physical. It's intellectual, relational, emotional, spiritual. It's all the above. And mental health, fortunately, is something we're recognizing that we need care, we need insights, and we need people walking along with us. And sometimes in the sports world, athletes are pretty independent, and also they always have to perform well. So they feel pressure sometimes to always look like they have it together because the fans are watching, the press is watching, the other team's looking for a weakness. And in life, when they're off the court, well, they have the same battles we battle. And it could be anxiety and worry or despair. And where do you turn? Like, who's safe? And for there to be mental health experts, there's no shame in seeing a counselor. Chaplains play that role, sports psychologists. It's to build up the athletes. So on and off the field, their careers are only going to last so long, but their identity is secure. You know, I think back a movie I loved growing up was Rocky. And he said, if I can just go the distance, right? If I can just go the distance, I'll finally know. I'll feel good about myself. I'll finally know I belong. Well, unfortunately, that's a great line. At the time, I was like, yeah, rock. But now I look back and it's like, no, you don't earn that on the field through your performance. You can be secure before that, your identity. And I was performance-based identity, and it brings anxiety. It's inflated, deflated, up and down. I didn't know how to manage that. And I mean, I was an atheist. It's a long story at Dartmouth, but you know, that's when I knew God loved me and my life changed. But for some people, they're going to lean in more on their faith. For some people, they're going to lean in community. For some people, they're going to learn how to replace that negative first thought with cultivate the habit, power of second thought, and they're going to have a go-to thought during that game and then off the field as well. And you can choose that second thought, but that's a significant second thought to reject the lie and replace it with something true. So all of those things build up athletes. Athletes, when they find someone who's safe and they can share about their marriage is tough, or they're not sure what to do as a parent, or they're really struggling with the criticism, or they feel like there was an unfair treatment by the club, you know, all these different things they wrestle with, they need a place to go because we really do need each other. We need community. And I'm just so thankful for sports and organizations across the board that we're united in that. And it's the health of the athletes and it's not just a business, it's caring about people.
You can see and hear, I guess not see, it's radio. You can hear why Jesse Bradley is a great choice for a chaplain with the Seattle Sounders, because this is the type of hope and the type of full body experience that he can help with and that he can speak to as a former pro soccer goalie himself. It's Mad Dog Sports Radio Weekend. I'm Amy Lawrence. So the Seattle Sounders are in the Club World Cup. This is really cool. I know Seattle's such a soccer hotbed, and we've got this event as well as the Gold Cup that's coming up for Team USA. And then, of course, the World Cup in the United States, not far away. It's on the horizon. I know, because we've talked about this, that the fan base that continues to grow, and in some places like Seattle, it's so passionate there when it comes to soccer. I feel like this is such a great opportunity, though, Jesse, whether it be this Club World Cup, the Gold Cup, what's on the horizon with Team USA, to make more fans and to really have the entire country behind Team USA when it's time.
That's right, Amy. I realize your audience, there's some people who love soccer and there's some people who can't wait till we stop talking about soccer. So we're going to try to walk together with both groups here. This is a window in terms of the sport. Globally, it's the number one. There isn't a close second. I mean, 5 billion people watch the World Cup. And for it to come to the U.S., this is generational. And the Club World Cup, okay, if you don't know soccer, there's really two paths you need to know. One is that sometimes teams play and they represent their country. For example, the American team right now struggled. 3 straight losses. Add them to your prayer list. Like, they need to turn around because the World Cup's coming in a year.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure things out. They just lost to Turkey 2-1 in a friendly.
Stop it.
They're struggling right now, but there's still time. The story's not over. We're talking about underdogs today. They're definitely an underdog. The other path is to represent your club. Now, professionally, a lot of teams, let's say in Europe, there's PSG, Paris. They just won the Champions League title. That's in Europe. So they're not only the best in France, they're the best in Europe. And they are grouped. There's 32 teams in the Club World Cup this summer. They're in Seattle's group. So PSG's coming to Seattle. It couldn't be a bigger underdog for the Sounders. There's 3 American clubs, Miami, LAFC, and Seattle. If you've never been to an MLS match, or for the Sounders, there's probably like 30, 40,000 a match. I mean, it's palpable in there. But we're playing against the world's best. They're coming. They just, like I said, won the Champions League 5-0, not even close, against Inter Milan. And for them to come in, it would be, if you're a baseball fan, it would be like your favorite team, let's say the Mariners, are going up against like a AA team. If you are, it's like a pro team almost, just a different league. But in soccer, if you have a great goalkeeper, great defense, you can make a stun the world with a victory. So it's going to be interesting what the Sounders do, but that's the Club World Cup, and that's what's coming to America this summer. The World Cup is the following summer. There's 11 cities, and Seattle's one of them. So Seattle's hosting both. I'm so glad I live in a soccer city, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, so how can we get fan bases and cities around the United States to understand how significant, and to get them wrapped up in it? We need fans to support Team USA.
So true. And one thing that stands out is that there's a generation now that's played soccer growing up. And there's a couple of things you need in terms of a sport, how it grows in a country. One of them, you need an incredible professional league so kids can have that dream, see the pictures, watch the plays. And the MLS has improved so much. I mean, we have Messi now. There's talk Ronaldo's going to come. If you don't know him, Messi and Ronaldo are like two standout players. So to get those two in the MLS, we wouldn't have had that 5 years ago. So the very best are wanting to come here. MLS is improving. We have a young generation that's playing. Our coaches are outstanding, and soccer's improving on every level. So I think the number of people who have played and appreciate and know the sport. Soccer is not a sport where there's as much scoring. Maybe we should change the scoring. In football, you would say, oh, it was 21-14. Okay, great game, high scoring. Then in soccer, we don't give 7 points for a goal. That might be the solution, Amy, is because
touchdown.
3-2. Exactly, 3-2. We'll just call it 21-14 in soccer, and we'll say it's high scoring. But, touchdowns, goals, soccer, it's one of those sports that the more you spend time around it, it's an acquired taste. You appreciate the nuances, and you see why it's the beautiful game. And around the world, it's the sport. It's a common language. Like I play pickup, and it's playing with people from all different nations. And so it's one of those that builds community. And that's what we have here in Seattle. There's a lot of soccer cities in America. And, I played overseas in Africa. I played in Scotland. And to go there, it's just so special to play in those stadiums and to meet those people and to build that bridge. So soccer's meant to unite, and you're going to see, like in Seattle, I think we have 750,000 people coming for the Club World Cup from other nations.
Gosh,
so
that's amazing.
We are going to be in hospitality mode, and what a chance to serve. What a chance to welcome people. Let's bring the love.
Cool. Okay, before I let you go, I was looking at your, I call it Twix now. I was looking at your Twix page. That is a giant alligator that you were seemingly really close to. How in the world did you get so close to? He's a behemoth and scary looking.
Yes, we're talking about courage, and we were down in Miami, and we thought, what are we going to do in Florida? Let's go looking for alligators. And then we saw, here's an opportunity. And so here comes the alligators. I mean, I learned so much, probably made some tourist mistakes, some rookie mistakes, got too close, but they literally come right next to you. We were on a little boat and, of course, taking pictures. One thing that's interesting, Amy, is they were all females. I guess the males kind of stay out of the way. They're kind of lazy. That's what the person told us who knows alligators. But, life's interesting. It's a fine line sometimes between risk and foolishness. And we were definitely walking that line right there. So, I just think if we're going to play it safe in life, we're never going to be making the memories. We're never going to build the deep relationships. If we play it safe all the time in sports, you don't win championships. And you don't want to be foolish or blind faith, but, get the facts and then take that step of faith. And for us, it was just a good time together, good memories, good stories. But whether it's on the field, off the field, sports teaches you about life. And
Yes.
when you know you're loved and you're doing it with people you love and doing something you love, alligators, of course, that's just, fun on vacation. But when those memories that we make on that trip, in that boat together, that's what lasts. And it's the relationships that last, and life's about relationships. So I'm just encouraging anyone that has an opportunity and you're kind of, I don't know, should I, shouldn't I? Make that step forward. And I think that's true in faith. That's true in realizing your potential as an athlete. It's true for coaches and going the extra mile. And the best coaches just teach you about life. And there's so much that happens through sports, and we can't be timid and shrinking back. These are not days to shrink back, Amy. These are days to step up and be part of the solution.
Agreed. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's the chaplain of the Seattle Sounders, former pro soccer goalie. You can find him online, Jesse J. Bradley, or this website, which is awesome, justchoosehope.org. It's good to see you. I know you can't see me. I'm waving, though. It's awesome to have you on Mad Dog for the first time. We'll definitely do it again, Jesse. Thank you.
It's a great show. Appreciate you too, Amy. Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Yeah, so when we are able to have people via Zoom, the camera in here is not connected. So it happened with Patrick McEnroe yesterday, too. I could see him, and he couldn't see me. But Jesse's so great. Always has stories. The alligator, it's ginormous. Go check it out on his Twix, Jesse J. Bradley.